What mean bytecode? Java bytecode is a machine-readable code generated by the Java compiler, which can be executed on any platform that has a Java Virtual Machine (JVM) installed. It serves as an intermediate representation of Java code and allows for platform independence and portability. What mean JVM? JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine, which is an abstract machine that provides a runtime environment for executing Java bytecode. It interprets the bytecode and translates it into machine code for the specific platform on which it runs. JVM also provides features like memory management, security, and garbage collection. What mean comments in Java? In Java, comments are used to add notes, explanations, or documentation to the code. There are two types of comments: single-line comments and multi-line comments. Single-line comments start with 2 forward slashes and continue until the end of the line. They are used to explain a specific line of code or to temporarily disable a line of code. For example, Java copy code int x equals 10, initialize variable x to 10. Multi-line comments start with asterisk and end with asterisk. They can span multiple lines and are used for longer explanations or to comment out entire blocks of code. For example, skeptical smiley face, asterisk. This is a multi-line comment that spans across multiple lines. It can be used to explain a block of code or to temporarily disable multiple lines of code, int y equals 20. What mean package statement? In Java, a package statement is used to organize related classes and interfaces into a group or package. It is the first statement in a Java source file and indicates the package to which the class or interface belongs. The syntax of the package statement is as follows: package.com, example, my app. What mean method? A method in Java is a block of code that performs a specific task. Here's an example: public class calculator, public int add, int num1, int num2, int sum equals num1 plus num2, return sum. What mean data type and variables? In Java, a data type is a classification of data that specifies the type of value a variable can hold. Variables are named memory locations used to store data during program execution. They are declared with a specific data type that determines the kind of data the variable can hold. For example, Java copy code int x equals 10. In this example, int is a data type that stands for integer, and x is the name of the variable. The variable x can hold an integer value of 10. What is primitive data type? In Java, a primitive data type is a basic data type that is not derived from a class. It represents a single value, and not an object. Here are the 8 primitive data types in Java. Byte represents an 8-bit signed integer, -128 to 127. Short represents a 16-bit signed integer, -32,768 to 32,767. Int represents a 32-bit signed integer, -2,147,483,648 to 2,147,483,647. Long represents a 64-bit signed integer, -9,223,372,36,854,775,808 to 9,223,372,374,775,807. Float represents a single precision 32-bit floating point number. Double represents a double precision 64-bit floating point number. Boolean represents a true, false value. Chair represents a single 16-bit Unicode character. What are operators? In Java, operators are symbols that are used to perform operations on variables and values. There are several types of operators in Java, including arithmetic, relational, logical, assignment, bitwise, and conditional operators. Arithmetic operators are used for basic mathematical operations, such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. Relational operators are used to compare two values, and return a Boolean value of either true or false. Logical operators are used to perform logical operations, such as AND, OR, and NOT. Assignment operators are used to assign a value to a variable. Bitwise operators are used to perform operations at the bit level. Conditional operators are used to perform conditional operations and are often used in if-else statements. The if-else statement. In Java, the if-else statement is used to make a decision based on a condition. If the condition is true, the code inside the if block is executed. Here's the syntax for the if-else statement. If condition, code to execute. If condition is true, else, code to execute if condition is false. Here's an example that uses the if-else statement int number equals -5, if number greater than 0, system.out, println, the number is positive, else, system.out, println, the number is negative. The switch case statement. In Java, the switch statement is used to perform different actions based on different conditions. Here's the syntax for the switch statement. Switch, expression, case value 1, code to execute if expression matches value 1 break, case value 2, code to execute if expression matches value 2 break, default, code to execute if none of the cases match expression. What is repetition structures? In Java, repetition structures, also known as loops, are used to execute a block of code repeatedly. There are three types of loops in Java: the for loop, the while loop, and the do-while loop. The for loop is used to execute a block of code for a fixed number of times. The while loop is used to execute a block of code while a condition is true. The do-while loop is similar to the while loop, but it will always execute the block of code at least once, even if the condition is initially false. What mean for loop statement? In Java, the for loop statement is used to execute a block of code for a fixed number of times. Here's the syntax for the for loop statement. Java copy code for initialization, condition, update, code to be executed. Here's an example that uses the for loop to print the numbers 1 through 5 to the console. Java copy code for int I equals 1, I less than equals 5, I++, system.out, println, I. In this example, the variable I is initialized to 1, and the loop will continue to execute as long as I is less than or equal to 5. The output will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you understand by while loop statement? In Java, the do-while loop is used to execute a block of code while a condition is true. The difference between the do-while loop and the while loop is that the do-while loop will always execute the code block at least once, even if the condition is initially false. Here's the syntax for the do-while loop. Do, code to be executed, while, condition. Here's an example that uses the while loop to print the numbers 1 to 10, int I equals 1, while, I less than equals 10, system.out, println, I++, the output will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0. Write down the statement of do-while loop. The code inside the do block will be executed first, and then the condition will be checked. If the condition is true, the loop will continue to execute, and the code inside the do block will be executed again. This process will continue until the condition becomes false.do, code to be executed, while, condition. Here's the example: int num equals 1, do, system.out, println, num, while, num less than equals 10. Difference while loop and do while loop. In Java, both while and do while loops are used for repeated execution of a block of code. However, there are some key differences between these two loop types. Loop execution. The while loop checks the loop condition before the first execution of the loop body. If the condition is true, it executes the loop body, and then checks the condition again. This process continues until the condition becomes false. The do-while loop, on the other hand, executes the loop body at least once before checking the loop condition. If the condition is true, it continues to execute the loop body and check the condition after each iteration. Loop initialization. The while loop requires the loop variable or counter to be initialized before the loop condition is checked. The do-while loop, on the other hand, initializes the loop variable or counter inside the loop body before the loop condition is checked.